Yeah, you did it?
Did it?
The man himself in the building, people. Worldwide. Can't be denied. This is SoundchatRadio.com. We are live and direct with the one and only Exodus, known as the producer of this rhythm, and the production is called
Jambalasee Grenada. That's the whole backing behind it. But the rhythm, this one is called Dassie Rhythm.
Okay, so Jambalasee is the
is the label behind all the production.
Okay.
And it actually has a very important history behind it as well. So it's just like a continuation of a legacy.
So give us a little.
I gotta give you some history lessons.
Yeah, give me some history because each one teach one.
All right, I must say, it's my pleasure to be here in Soundchat Radio with the one and only Lee Major. I must big up Lee Major anywhere. I call Lee Major my godfather in the music business.
Thanks.
Real talk, and I want to say that publicly.
See?
For the doors, and the opportunities you open up, and forever love and appreciation for that.
Enough love, my brother. Enough love. So, tell us about the history. Because a whole lot of people before, I went to Grenada a couple times because of this young man. Introduced me to the Grenadian culture. Introduced me to the food, the lingua, the culture. Because that's very important that when you go somewhere, you have to learn the people's culture. And not even say the people's culture, our culture.
Exactly.
It's not
one,
Yeah,
it's one love.
It's one love. Don't care where you come from, man. I love Grenada like my second home. I'm always saying, yo, wow, go on, Grenada. Sure, Major. Ticket right there and then. Place to stay, food to eat. Even give me a car, but I'm too scared to drive Grenada.
So if you could drive in here, you could drive anywhere in the world.
Yeah, no, really. If you could drive in Jamaica, though.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
I've never been to Jamaica.
Yeah, but that's a different conversation. Let's talk about the Jambalasee.
All right. So now there is a genre. Well, it's considered a subgenre of soca, which is jab music, which is stemming heavily from Grenada. And when you go back to the origin in terms of the musical structuring of the music,
yes,
it dates back to 1991. Moss International Jambalasee rule, which is widely accredited with giving it the basis as a genre. So what they did, they take the songs of Juve Morning, and for those of you guys who maybe not too versed in the culture of carnival, Juve Morning is something that happens at dawn, just before dawn. It's dark where you come out. But anyway, that's a whole different story.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah,
you told me that.
Yeah, but the sound is normally from a goat skin rhythm.
Yeah.
Goat skin is actually 3 goat skin rhythms playing together in unison, but all 3 are playing different patterns, led by the bass, the coupe, and the mid-range.
Right.
And it's led by the bass, but they all have different patterns.
See.
Along with a conch shell, which is something that complements the music.
Right.
So what happened in 1991, that was structured musically and put on a record. So this is the first time in modern history, well, it seemed like in history, that the songs of Juve Morning was taken, musically structured, and put on we call it Jabonrecord.
Okay.
That song now went on to be nominated for Caribbean Song of the Year. That was something that was trending in the New York market for the Caribbean culture. And it's important because it lays the groundwork now for jab music.
Yes.
Now, the core members of it are my uncles. So that's why I said is legacy.
Right.
So understanding that and understanding the cultural impact of such a genre, because right now jab music is booming.
Yes.
The Skinny Bantams, the Lava Mans, the Jab Kings, the Killers.
Yes.
The worst ways, it, but the Talpris, the music has a foundation, and the world needs to know it, that it's not just slapping a few drums together and bang, bang, bang.
Correct.
Just like reggae, you need to have some kind of foundation.
Right.
All right. So that is the legacy. Now, the Dassie rhythm.
Yes,
Dassie rhythm came about as to showcase different musical parts of the band, because not only jab, but the band also fused what is called zouk.
Yes.
You know, from the French Caribbean.
Correct.
So that bass line is a Zouk bass line.
Oh, okay, interesting.
On the Dacier rhythm. So he wanted to showcase different elements of the band. So he went into the Dacier rhythm, Labe Music Project, and we featured some of the big names, Skinny Banter and Jab King, Valley Ned, and the list goes on. So it's cultural documentation, cultural referencing, and we want to do our path in actually putting things on a record so legacies could be made and you have something to reference in terms of Grenada's jab music.
Correct.
And Grenada's music in itself.
That's very big. Like, that's a lot of good information that some people, when they hear jab music, they just think of this like gyrate and
Thank you. I'm happy you bring that up.
Yes.
And that's a major point for Jambalasee Grenada in to promote the authenticity of jab. Because jab is a spiritual thing. Maroons.
Yes.
Maroonage, grand maroonage. Jab came from emancipation. It's something of freeing. Is celebration. Is not gyrating and being disrespectful
and putting paint on yourself.
Yeah, I'm just putting paint and get on wild and just get on. You know, in some instances, sort of obscene.
Right.
You know, it's not about that. It's something called neg maroon, the black slave. I mean, the black freedom. Okay. You know, it's maroons. You know what maroons are?
Of course.
All right.
Well, explain to people what maroons, if they
All right. So back in the slavery days, slavery is a serious thing. I mean, mentally, physically, spiritually, it was something that was raped. I mean, that was beaten. Nobody liked slave.
Of course.
Nobody wanted to be a slave.
Correct.
So we are not slaves. We were enslaved.
Right.
And as a result, now slaves left the plantation. Okay. Once you fight against, you are maroon. Now there are two types of maroons.
Oh, okay.
There are petty maroon, petty maroonage, and grand maroonage. Right. Petty maroonage is that you left, but you were no wrongdoing of yours. It's just that you're depending on master for food, for clothing, for medical, place to sleep. So you might leave, no problem, but it becomes so difficult to sustain on yourself that you went back onto the plantation.
Yes.
That's petty maroonage. Grand maroonage, now when you left, you ain't coming back. You're
grand.
you're gonna survive.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the jab music is very important to our side. And again, it's not only Grenada,
Correct.
We are one. We've all taken on and displaced throughout. Right. So different facets of the culture happens in other parts. So it's just linking and everybody realizing, hey, our history is pretty similar. Yeah. It's just different things or different cultures, what had the momentum to carry on, because a lot was done to really rip us of our knowledge of our culture.
Correct.
So the jab is one of the things that sustain through time, and through music, it has gotten international acclaim over the past few years.
So, unfortunately, during the pandemic, to me, soca music, JabJab. Okay, difference for me, the difference between soca music and jab music.
Okay, well, soca, in history aspect, Trinidadian.
Yes.
Rashati.
Yeah.
Okay, is a mixture of the calypso and the disco.
Correct.
So you got the soca music there. Jab, different between jab and soca, right?
Yes.
All right. Jab deals with the drum patterns. You could have a jab song without a conch shell.
Right.
The conch shell is an accompanying and something that complements the rhythm.
Yes.
And it normally goes together.
Right.
But the jab is the three drums playing in unison, three different patterns.
Correct.
Led by the bass, the mid-range, and something called a copy, which gives you different tones. All right?
Yes.
Now, that is the musical difference there and everything. But it's still an expression. It's still a musical expression throughout the Caribbean.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah.
So, like I always say, I had to say before I get into that conversation, in New York City and worldwide, soca and JabJab music was on a storm. Like, it still is, but to be honest, the momentum kind of slowed down a little bit.
Is it because of the COVID-19?
Yeah, I have to believe because.
Well, COVID-19 hit everything.
Yeah, it did hit everything, but to me, And not because I'm predominantly in the reggae world. To me, the reggae world is still strong. Stronger.
Well, and again, I'm glad that you make
Dancehall,
that comparison.
reggae, right.
Because you see, and a lot of things, and I always give respect where respect is due.
Right.
Jamaica did a great job of documenting their culture. That's as in, you know, like for instance, Soundchat Radio.
Soundchat
you have
Radio,
Irish and Chin who is investing in something called cultural. Well, the world call it cultural tourism.
Yes.
Cultural is documentation of cultural heritage.
Correct.
Bob Marley is given his credit. Peter Tosh is given his credit. Dennis Brown is given his credit.
Correct.
Great Raw is given his credit.
Correct.
That's something that is not the norm. We're still trying to get that.
I never thought it was good.
We're still trying to give
good point.
our prophets, musical prophets, the recognition that they deserve. And that's something, again, we are very keen on for Jambalasee Grenada, documenting and preservation of Grenada's traditional culture.
Properly said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, wow,
So what these guys do, so when I walk in and I saw Chin, I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
I have the utmost respect for that guy.
Right.
Because he understands culture. I'm looking at it, and this is something new for our hemisphere in Grenada.
Right.
You know? My uncles, I said it on the first interview I did when we released something called the Jambalasee Rule Rhythm.
Yeah.
If they were in Trinidad or maybe Jamaica, they would have been legends, because they are legends, because of the impact of what they did.
Right, because I remember when I was in Grenada and he was explaining to me, and I was like, gosh, I listened to your stories and he was telling me, and I was like, I wish that, you know, they got their fair share.
Exactly.
Because you even took me to the house where it started.
The studio.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And
that's why we need more entities like Jambalasee Grenada, the Cultural Foundation. So my sons and daughters and grandkids will be able to reference these things. Right now, if I'm a producer in, I don't know, in Prague, some part of the world, and I want to produce a reggae, there are certain guidelines I have to take. There are certain baselines I have to use.
Yes.
Because it is formulated.
Yes.
The Jab music need to get on that, and that is a big point for us. But we need more people to understand the intellectual side of the music and the structuring of the music.
Right.
Because the genre is here. How often you're going to be living in a time where you actually have a chance to help form a genre? It's not happening every day.
It's true.
So we have to do the legends justice.
Yeah.
Because everybody jumping on the jab. Many people want to jump ride a jab rhythm, build a jab rhythm.
Yes, true.
What are you referencing?
Wow. That's big. People, I'm talking to Exodus, Jambalasee, finish it for me.
Jambalasee Grenada.
Yeah, Jambalasee Grenada. That's in case if you're wondering who I'm talking to, because some people can see me on my live, and then everybody can see you worldwide and
on Soundchat.
On soundchatradio.com. So upon you saying that, do you want, of course, you want more producers and more people like yourself who can explain our story.
Everybody need to be on the same narrative.
Okay.
I can have a different narrative, and I talk to Joel, and I talk to John, and I talk to Sean, and I talk to Cindy, and I talk to Susie, and everybody's giving you their own opinion.
Yeah.
You know, a culture is not about opinion.
Culture is
not about an opinion.
Okay.
You know what culture is.
Right.
You know, we need to be able. So that is something that we need to do. We need to be on the same narrative. And I think as of a few years ago, the respect for the Jab has grown, because you might be surprised that there are entities, there are portions of Grenadians who see Jab as the devil.
Correct.
See Jab as a negative thing.
Correct.
You know? But then again, if you really, expand and you don't get into your feelings, you understand, okay, well, they are seeing this based upon what they were taught. And like I was saying, you have to go way back to understand that enslavement not only existed in shackles on your foot and your hands, mentally is a lot. Because a lot of people you could look up to, your kings, your queens, your leaders, they've been demonized, they've been shot down, they've been jailed, they've been whatever.
They've been raped.
Yes. You know, big parts of your culture is not even taught, not even in schools, So the preservation, the documentation and preservation of Grenada's cultural heritage is massive. because we had a chance to impact the future.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot to that's a good full of knowledge, and we need to know these things because we need to understand the levels of the JabJab and where it's coming from, and it's not a gyrate music, because it's more deep.
It's very deep.
Very deep.
I mean, so what I did once, I Googled the origin of jab, and I mean, you could, on Wikipedia you could put whatever you want.
Yeah.
They had this story about somebody falling into a pit of molasses and died. So I was saying, you mean I'm getting up every time in August to play jab because someone fell in molasses and died? That doesn't make any sense. They must have much more to this thing for the tradition to be happening from so long. 1834 to we're still doing this thing. Just that right now it's becoming recognized by the world.
Yes.
And there's certain facets of it that needs to what's the word? Twist.
Yeah.
In lack of a better word. And because certain parts of it I could understand. Like for instance, they're gonna give you one, I'm gonna give you the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Normally we get black. Well, not normally. Jab is black.
Yes.
Right? But what you use to get black right now is used engine oil.
Okay.
No, that's not something you want to put on your skin.
Right.
I might get a lot of blows for this, but you have to look at things holistically.
Yeah.
All engine oil is not something for the human body.
True.
No matter what you have on it,
True.
if you want to put whatever cover in, normally you're going to use some sort of fat like lard or baby oil,
Yes.
some kind of oil-based something. But again, it seeps through your skin. People who use or who are in contact with all engine oil on a daily basis, i.e. mechanics, they wear gloves.
Right.
They have to use specific guidelines to dispose of it.
Correct.
Because, it contaminates the earth. So obviously it's not something for you to put in your skin. That has been the
bad myth.
The main. It's not a myth.
Okay.
It's that what I'm trying to get at. It's misinformation, and not even misinformation is not having any knowledge or nothing to reference. Because when you date back, we've been doing a lot of research on jab. When you date back all the way back, what you use to get black has very little authenticity of the jab, because you had something called sling, something called molasses, something called pigment, something called charcoal, something called tar, and something called old oil. Just that when jab was being played before cars came to Grenada. So I mean, old oil is not nothing that signifies a real jab, and that has been a narrative which is being pushed, that to be a real jab you have to be with old oil.
Yes.
Is the color black. Black is the most predominant narrative there. Is black, and what you use to get black changed through different eras based upon what was available.
Correct.
So right now, if you want jab and the whole Grenada's Juve to be an inclusive thing where you have newcomers, I mean, in 2019 that was the biggest Grenada Spice Mass ever.
Okay.
I still think about it.
Right.
It was great. Had over 30,000 plus people come in through the airports alone. It was wonderful. Mr. Killer won. He won the Soca Monarch.
Yes.
So we got an extra boom on the marketing. The jab music is on a different trend. People like Skinny Banter and Worse Ways, they are headlining big shows. So the music and the culture is growing. However, one of the downsides is that everybody wants to experience the jab, but when come time to play the jab, some people who are health conscious or maybe just have just thinking about the information, hey, putting oil on his skin, it's not something you might want to do. A lot of people were unable to play. So we have to get healthier alternatives to play. And I think we at the stage right now as a nation culturally that we need to endorse healthier, eco-friendly products, which we have done our part. We're not only saying it, we are genuinely trying to safeguard the culture and have ways in which you could experience the culture by having stuff like charcoal. Charcoal was once used to play jab.
Correct.
So charcoal is just burnt wood. And charcoal is good for the environment, good for your skin. So you have options. So hopefully there's Carnival next year. God please, I miss Carnival.
So
2 years no Carnival.
But because we were the black conversation before, I heard that black in slavery days was to scare away the slave masters.
That too. Remember Grand Marinade. So that was it. There are many narratives there are many narratives, and none is just gyrating in the street and just being vulgar.
Okay.
You know, but all the narratives linked together as a sense of freedom, a sense of rebellion.
Right.
You know, so the narrative that the slaves, once they left the plantation, they marinage, they were black in the skin as a means of camouflaging in the night. They can't see.
Yeah.
They are the narrative where you take to the street in enjoyment. You want to get blacker because we were taught, and I say we collectively black, in the sense that if you're black, then you're no good. You know, you're second class. You're beneath us. So just to mock the slave planters, and again, you go back to the history of Carnival. Carnival is a French influence. So what you're seeing is that islands that weren't colonized by the French, they don't really have Carnival.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so the history is deep in these things.
Yes.
You know, is intertwined in a lot of ways.
Correct.
You know, so we're learning as we go along, but we at least want to have verified facts for our history.
Right.
But we have to teach our history, because we were taught our history, and look, we were saying that Columbus discovered Grenada. I mean,
Bullshit.
come on. I mean, let's be honest.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Yes. We are so live and there. We're talking to Excess Jambalasee. Speaking about Jambalasee, let me see what's going on over here.
We took the authentic.
What's that? Which one is that one?
Yes, people, I'm giving you history right here, live and direct on the Soundchat radio. The Jambalasee. Yes. Tell me a quick history about the rhythm, man.
All right. So when you strip that rhythm down to the drums,
Yeah.
is straight jab.
Okay. Straight jab.
So this was a redo. This was a 2019 redo of Jambalasee Rule,
Right.
which is the song from 1991 that gave birth to the jab music. So we redid it to, one, show the importance of the rhythm to the culture,
Yes.
and two, feature today's superstars on the rhythm.
Right.
But what we did, we gave them total range to interpret the rhythm how they wanted to. You know, I did not want to interfere with their interpretation, because the rhythm stands for so much things. The rhythm represents so many things and is historical. So we redid this rhythm. The producer I worked with was Nodley Frederick. Now
What's the name?
Nodley Frederick. Okay. Fat Tracks. He is a legend. He's a living legend. He's the man behind Tyler Perry's Old Woman Alone.
Wow.
You know, so these guys we needed musicians, and we needed to represent the history of jab in the rhythm. So once you understand the rhythm and who built the rhythm and where the rhythm came from, you understand the reverence behind the rhythm.
Wow. All right, let me play some songs off of the rhythm.
Yeah, run
And
it.
then we go back into some talking
Okay.
again. All right. Live and direct, my people. Skinny Banter! Never done.
Yes, people. Soundchat.
Remember your tradition. We put in a job in parliament. Jambalasee rule in this land. It's about time when you hear the horn and the drum play. I saw him.
Soundchat Radio. This one is called Never Done. Jambalasee Rule.
When the job them start to team up. Job we play. 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 Remember your roots. Remember your tradition. We put in a job in parliament. Jambalasee rule in this land. It's about time when you hear the horn and the drum play. I sang the massa, you know it's trouble down there. I take revenge, but we go big up all the city. Memories are the pain, now we jumping up in the pain. Now we playing JabJab. We wish the sugar would never done. Well, we playing JabJab. Tell them no spoil we fun. Not to even try. Taking back with joy from them wicked people. When we jumping up and trample evil. Coming with the squad, but you know Jack, beg your friend. And when we play mass, you know we mad than all of them. Shall we play? Shall we play? Shall we play? Mad man. A lot of time we fed up. But we bring to take a stand. People keep your head up. No island, no man. It's time for we to leave legacy for we children. They teach them history. It's time for we to build them. Some talking job, but they only talking crap. It's time for we to put some positiveness in the plan. We playing JabJab. We wish the sugar would never done. Well, we playing JabJab. Tell them no spoil we fun. Not to even try.
Yes, my people, live and direct. Jambalasee.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed, man.
that was
really-
a redo.
That was a redo.
Yeah, and that same year we came out with a documentary in collaboration with Made in Grenada, where I think guys could check it out on our
What's the name? So the people can look it up?
yeah. So the name of the documentary is Jambalasee.
Yes.
The making of a musical subgenre,
Okay.
and it's up on our YouTube channel, Jambalasee Grenada. Go check it out. It's literally history. It has interviews with the real core members of the band and what they did. That song is a novelty. That song almost never didn't even come out. Not that song, the original.
Okay.
Sorry I didn't send the original for you, but I will. As soon as I'm finished with you, I'm going to send it for you. Because you should have the original here. And the song actually almost never didn't even come out.
Wow.
And it came out, and you see the impact it has 30 years now. This year marks 30 years of the original Jambalasee rule. And my uncles, they went to Caribana. That's the Caribbean festival in Toronto, and they didn't want the sound. They were using coins on a payphone, and they were calling the distributors in Jamaica, in Barbados, and say, hey,
really?
Yeah, and say, hey, don't bother with the song for this year. You know, Carnival is in a week. And you know, it doesn't make sense releasing a song one week before Carnival. Normally, the rule of thumb is that you're going to release a song no later than 6 weeks before Carnival starts, because it needs to, you know, get in rotation, you know, get into the groove, playlist and whatnot.
So that's not. What is that? What you call it? The rule of thumb? What do you call it?
When I say rule of thumb,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but okay.
Explain to the
so
people.
when you're releasing music, especially, there's for Carnival, is normally.
Right.
You take your benchmark from something called Fisherman's Birthday, which is the last Sunday in June. Like Fisherman, but you know, I said everything is cultural, everything is linked. This is not just a random vibes where you will go and just jam a girl and wine. There's energies to it. So normally you're gonna use this as your benchmark. Jambalasee rule came out 1 week before Carnival, which is crazy. And guess what? It won a road match. For people who don't know what road match means, it means that it was the most played song for the festival, but it was different. You know, the first time you ever had conch shell in it, the first time you ever had the goat skin drums recorded. So, and it gave birth to jab music. So, go check out the documentary. It's a very, very intriguing documentary, It's on Jambalasee Grenada on our YouTube channel. You can also follow us at on Instagram at Jambalasee Grenada. Check out different aspects, different elements of the jab, the conch shell, the drums, the patterns. The chants. This thing is deep, so there's many aspects of it. I could go on and on, but check it out. Get some referencing. You can always interact with us, and if you're ever in Grenada and it's around festival time or you might have some sort of event, we also have an immersive experience, an immersive space. Correct. Where we actually, it's called a Jab House, where we bring the sights and songs of Juve. So if you want to learn more about the culture, most of them
that's good. That's great.
These are the avenues we need to have now in a 2021
not just
mentality.
alone.
Not exactly.
Yeah,
on a world scale, you
yeah.
need to have immersive spaces so these things could live on. So it's critical. It's very, very critical.
And what would you tell the upcoming producers that want to venture in the culture and the music authenticity of JabJab? What kind of
learn the culture?
Wow, big.
Learn the culture. You have to learn the culture. You have to know the culture. Otherwise, you'll be help confusing people. Learn the culture because, and again, I keep referencing Jamaica because I always tell people that I really respect the Jamaicans in how they represent themselves in terms of the culture. They're very proud of the culture.
They're very proud.
They're very proud of the culture.
Very proud.
And that's why Jamaica had a large influx of Maroons.
Yeah.
Jamaica was a Maroon capital for the Caribbean. On the line of islands,
yes,
a lot of the slaves that left went to Jamaica. They ended up in Jamaica. So what you see is just a lineage. Correct. And they're very, very proud. And with that proudness now, it brings confidence. And with that confidence, you respect you for you. You know, and
that's big.
That is, and that's where the jab has to be. You have to big up yourself that your culture is being respected worldwide. Yeah. We have to represent it in an authentic manner right now, so people will understand the levels to it.
And gravitate to it more besides just listening.
Exactly.
To the drum and the bass, and like you said, if they understand the meaning
behind it, it lives on. It's a spiritual thing, you know.
Wow, and you still do like at the airport, because I remember you was doing something.
Yeah,
at the
well,
airport.
that's festival time.
Okay.
So every festival.
So what's the name of your? So just in case somebody.
It's called Jambalasee's the Jab House.
Okay, the Jab House.
So the Jab House is an immersive space where we bring the sights and songs of Juve to you. So let's say, for instance, anyway you see the Jab House, you're gonna have we have a screen inside that rotates with different facts. It's called Jab Facts.
Right.
Because you may hear Skinny Bantan saying in his song Capital.
Right.
Now, he's not only saying Capital because he feels like saying Capital. Capital is the name of the Jab leader. Like the captain, the CEO, the leader. It's Capital.
You taught me something just now.
Exactly.
Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah, because I thought, like how the 60s love to say Sikhs. I thought it was a gang move.
No. Yeah,
okay.
It's a gang. It's Jab. Yeah,
but I mean,
that's the gang.
Capital. I said, John knows a gang thing.
So why I think I call it cap?
Oh.
Every time I just feel like your cap. You know, so it's a language of endearment, because at the end of the day, you have to take some level of pride in your culture. But once you understand it, you're gonna know. Yeah. So we have a screen that shows different facts about the jab. Yes. Sometimes we might have documentaries, like the Jambalasee documentary playing. Yes. We have audio playing with different stuff about the jab.
Yes.
You could get jab paraphernalia.
Yes.
There's a jab hat with the horns.
Yes.
You could get it made there. You could get charcoal pigment to play jab. You could also get different accessories to jab, like chains. It's an immersive place. Once you come there, you feel the sights and song of jab.
So what time of the year again will you be out there?
Well, definitely Carnival time. Carnival time runs, for us, from since June.
Right.
but if you want to go official, anytime from July to the second week in August. Next year's Carnival, if God spares life and everything goes and COVID gives us a break, please. Yes. The Grenada Spice Mass is going to be slated from, I think, the 4th to the 9th, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And trust me, it's a beautiful thing. It's a ritual, we still have, and the good thing about Grenada its pristineness is that you still have some level of indigenous vibes to it. You know, it's not totally commercialized.
Right.
You know, so you still get traditions.
Yes.
And that's what makes us a niche market in the whole carnival industry.
Wow. People see me quiet is because, you know, each one teach one, and knowledge is great, especially if you absorb it and then you could dish it back out the same way it's supposed to be, like how you hear it, or even if you have some lack of, like, say, maybe let me do some more investigation about it. You it's always there for you to go look up, go read, and this man here is talking the truth, because I've honestly did my history on some of the things that he told me about. Because, you know, I always want to be able, as a master of ceremony, I want to always be able to know what I'm talking about. Must know what I'm talking about. So enough respect reaching out to Exodus. Let the people know where they can reach you again.
Okay, so again, Major keeps calling me Exodus, so a lot of people might know me from Jambalasee Grenada, but not putting the connection of Exodus to Jambalasee. And I like I said in the beginning, Lee Major, I must big him up, is like my musical godfather, especially when it comes to song and whatnot. Yes. And again, that's what I'm saying about cultural heritage. Yeah. You know, Soundchat and just song, the whole song industry, the whole doublet industry is a subculture of reggae.
Correct.
You know, and Jamaica has done a very good job, like I say, in documenting their culture and promoting and marketing their culture. Yes. So if we could, I mean, I always tell people that I meet, you know, we could take a lot from what they've done to safeguard their culture. Yes. You know, because I mean, you could have somebody in England, you know, singing reggae, no problem. But you want authentic reggae, Jamaica. Yes. You go to Jamaica. Yes. You know, you go to the Holy Land of reggae. Yeah. That's where it's from. Correct. You know, so that's what Grenada is. But they could reach us at Jambalasee Grenada on all mediums. I mean, be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Well, Twitter is at Jambalasee GND.
Keep on talking.
Yeah. The YouTube is going to be Jambalasee Grenada, and what else? You could please support the movement by streaming or downloading or purchasing our music on all platforms. You have your Deezer, you have your Amazon, you have your iTunes, you have your Spotify, the whole works. And I must say thank you very much. Thank you to Irish Entering Soundchat. Thank you to Lee Major, the boss, for having us. And when I say us, I know I'm the only one talking, but I represent a movement. I'm not the only person. People might know me by my government name, Ian, when it comes to Jambalasee Grenada. Correct. You know, the Exodus is for camp song, the juggling, the doublet thing, you know? Yes. Yeah, so.
Big up, again, Exodus. Come here, we'll call him Exodus, but with due respect, Jambalasee. You understand? And, yeah, man, big up yourself. And as I tell great guests and great family, su casa la casa, my house is your house. So anytime
likewise
you come up to New York and you want to feature some music, or just send on. Send on, because that's what Soundchat Radio is about. So Lee Major the Boss is about, opening platform for all type of different genres of music and cultures. And there's I don't want to say sky is the limit, because sky is too small for me.
That's right.
You know, orbit and more. Man. You know, the creation.
God say the world is yours and everything therein.
Exactly. You know. So big up yourself every time, my brother. Go and kick back, play some more of the JabJab music, as the people will know it as. And once again, on behalf of Soundchat Radio and Lee Major the Boss, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. And listen,
enough respect every time, bro.
The invitation still out to come and experience Spice Mass with us. Once Spice Mass gets back on board,
can't wait.
Please come. It's a ritual. It's literally a ritual. It is.
Yes. Why? Let me play my artist here, John, before we go in.
Bantan, big up your.
Say I'm fed up with heart. All you feel is joke I'm making. I don't want to hate on love, but sometimes I keep debating. She say she only lover, she only friend. We make a wish, now eat with bed.
Yeah, me not tell no lies, Skinny Banton. You get the most blood in the world, but beloved brother. More time is not what we do wrong, you know, it's what them do wrong. Women are the most emotional creatures in the world.
When I say I'm fed up with all
Exodus always tell me that.
I don't want to eat on love, but sometimes I keep debating. She say she only lover, she only friend. We make a
Powerman sound, big up yourself.
we pen, I sleep on another tree, wake up and I make a vow. Soon as everything complete, we saw one.